Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, guys, I guess it's kind of a news video, but the Toronto Maple Leafs selecting at the 15th overall position in the 2020 draft selected Rodion Amirov. If we're using our Google spreadsheet that we used the other day when talking about the draft, we're going to see that Amirov was ranked 19th on Bob McKenzie's list, 25th on McKean's list, and 17th on EliteProspects.com. If we're looking at some strong attributes to highlight in his game, it would be his skating and his two-way ability, which would be welcomed on a Toronto Maple Leaf team, and their forwards aren't always the most defensively responsible. When I was reading scouting reports on this player, no one really had anything bad to say about him. Everyone said that he had a pretty well-rounded game overall. So the one bit of criticism that I will give to him, or the pick in general, is that he is one of the older players when it comes to first-year draft eligibles, already being 19. If we're taking a look at his elite prospects page here, you're going to see that he played games in the KHL as an 18-year-old last season. He played 21 of them, which is a rarity. Normally, rookies don't get a lot of ice time, and they don't really produce a lot of points. The KHL is a veterans league. But this year, in 10 games in the KHL, he's got 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists. Good start for him. I mean, scoring in the KHL is a little bit of a rarity. If we're taking a look at goalie stats in the Continental Hockey League here, 28 goalies had a save percentage above .920, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's a very difficult league to score in. I'm not making the comparison by any means here, but even Ovechkin in his draft year only put up 23 points, 13 goals in 53 games. Am I upset that Kyle Dubas didn't move this pick to get a player that could help us out right now? Not necessarily, just because we need to wait and see how free agency goes down before making that judgment or before saying definitively yes or no. It would have been interesting and it would have been cool if they traded this pick for someone to have an immediate impact on the roster, but like I said, we're going to have to wait and see on Friday and Saturday. On the broadcast, they said that he would potentially maybe be a first-line forward, and they compared him to Artemi Panarin, which is very exciting if you're a Leafs fan. And this is from EliteProspects.com. This is a full scouting report on the player, and it gives a breakdown of the attributes there. I believe the highest grade when I was looking through all the first rounders in terms of skating anyway that I saw was a 7.5. It's very rare that I saw any 8s, 9s, or 10s given out to any players in any of these categories. So even a 6.5 or a 7, that is very well above average. And I guess we should point out he is over 6 feet tall. It has him listed as 168 pounds here, but I believe on the Sportsnet broadcast, it had him listed in the mid-170s. But again, we need to temper our expectations here. We are talking about 18 and 19-year-olds after all. And if we're reading the scouting report here, the first line is, this may come as a surprise, but Russia's-born Amirov, I'm not going to say his first name because I'm afraid that I'm mispronouncing it, was the leading scorer of the Under-18 World Hockey Championships last year, not Lucas Raymond. Oh, hey, and I mean, here's him scoring the, you're going to hate me, I can't remember the name of it, but Svechnikov did it a couple of times, Matthews attempted to do it a couple of times in a game, the name's not going to come to me. Look, I'm not an expert on draft eligibles, especially a guy who's played most of his junior hockey over in Russia. The most that I could do is look up the information that is readily available. I mean, I got the Elite Prospects Premium subscription so that I could show you a little bit of that scouting report there. Ultimately, there's more than likely not going to be an American Hockey League next year, so there's no real chance of bringing him over. And if I had the option between playing him in the Continental Hockey League and the American Hockey League, I would rather him come over to North America just so we can monitor his progress and his training and his development. But in terms of playing in the tougher league, the Continental Hockey League is probably the closest thing to the NHL before the NHL. So maybe this is a guy who is a little bit more NHL ready than if the Leafs were to draft a CHL eligible prospect. I don't know, but the Maple Leafs do have more picks available in this draft. They have the 44th selection. They have a bunch of 6th and 7th rounders. We're going to have to wait and see how round 2 of the draft plays out, or if they make a trade before the end of the first round. We're going to see how it all shakes down. I am a little bit disappointed that they didn't get our guy Seth Jarvis. Me and Anthony kind of gushed over him for about 5 minutes or so in the draft preview video that we did. There were some other options there, I guess, that we could kind of quickly go over. I mean, Hendrix Lapierre would have been an interesting pick, a Braden Schneider, a Caden Gooley, even a Connor Zeri, or in a trade down situation, even a Jacob Perreault, who is a very, very offensively dynamic player there. But I mean, the Leafs, like I said, these are draft eligible players. They're 18 and 19-year-olds. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything about this guy who's coming over from Russia. At the end of the day, if the Toronto Maple Leafs felt that the best player available on their board was Amirov, I'm happy that they got their guy. I think that Anthony made a very interesting point in the draft preview video that we made in saying that you should always select the best player available because that player gives you the most value at that slot. Even if he doesn't necessarily fit into your future plans, you can always trade that player. And when looking at the Jake Muzzin deal that happened a couple of seasons ago, the Maple Leafs going best player available landed them with Sean Durzi and Carl Grundstrom, and they were able to turn those guys into Jake Muzzin. I guess the one exciting thing is that the KHL is currently going on right now, so we're going to get to see how Amirov progresses in the coming weeks and in the coming months before the NHL season starts. So I don't necessarily know if I'm upset that they didn't select a defenseman just because it's such a crapshoot, right? It's not like this is a top 5 or a top 10 pick. You're getting into the middle of the first round where there still are very good players available, but for the most part, it's a wait-and-see game with all of these guys. So that's where I am going to end off the video, guys, so make sure to like the video if you did like it and subscribe for more because more is always on the way. And look for a video tomorrow or the next day after that. I don't know, I might take a break because I've been talking a lot and recording a lot of videos here over the last couple of days. But look for a video either tomorrow after the whole draft wraps up or the day after, just kind of recapping the Maple Leafs draft as a whole.